economical and versatile to cook with, chicken is the protein that makes the world go round. And today, I'm here to show you a few techniques for taking one of these apart. So let's get started. If you eat a lot of chicken and you take the time to learn how to butcher your own, you're going to save a ton of money over time. So, the first thing I'll do here is cut the legs off, and it's easy. There's a big air gap here in the skin between the leg and the breast, and just slice right into that. And then I'm going to roll it over and pop that joint. Boom, it's real easy to do. Now from this side, I'll cut in here. And you can see this little lump of meat here. That's called the oyster. You want to catch that, cut around it, then right down to that joint, right through it, and it pops right off. Now, to separate the leg and thigh if you want to, you can look in here, and there is this little line of fat right here. Take a look. That line right there. And if we cut on the leg side of that line, 9 times out of 10, you'll go right through the joint and it'll separate just like cutting through butter. Just like that, super easy, right through the joint. Now, repeat on the other side. Open that up. Cut it down, around the skin, pop the joint, bam! And then there's the oyster. Grab that guy and right through that joint that you just popped. Now you pull the skin back a little, see that line. Then on the leg side of that line, it goes right through almost every time, perfectly. So there is our dark meat. Now, I'm gonna cut out the back. You'll find these little thin flaps of skin right here. Just cut those down, pop the back, and then cut right through the spine where you just popped it. Super easy again. Now, let's go ahead and take off these wings. For the wings, you just get into the armpit, I guess, cut. You'll see that joint start to open up. Cut around it, pop the wing off. Inside armpit. Right through the joint. You're never really cutting through any solid bone until you get to this part right here. And then I just run my knife. You'll see the spine in here. Put my knife down along one side, crack it right through. Knife down along the other side, crack that right through, take out the spine. And now, go right down into the middle of this guy. You'll see right down into the wishbone. Give it a little slice to start. It opens up, pops, then right through it. And I've got my 2 breasts. Now I'll take apart another one, but on this one I'm going to debone the breast meat and the thigh meat. And of course you could take the chicken all the way apart like I did to the first one and then debone it, but if I know I'm going to want this stuff to be boneless, it's a little easier to do when it's all in one piece like this. So again, I'll begin by separating the legs right there through that loose skin bit. I'm just going to cut it back, and then I'll pop those joints again, both sides. But I'm going to leave them on for now because that's going to kind of support this thing and keep it from rolling around when I'm taking off the breasts. Go ahead and cut the wings off, again through the armpit, through the joint. There's a wing, through the armpit, right through the joint. There's your other wing. Now, got this baby splayed out here. You'll see the seam right there, that fat line. You come in right down the center of this thing. That breastbone will guide your knife to one side or the other, and then just cut it right down. And the bone is now on this side. And this is where I'm gonna begin to separate the meat from the bone. So just cut it down until you hit bone. It'll be solid down there. Then, this is why it's a little easier when it's all in one piece, because I can use gravity and just kind of let that meat fall away, slicing along the bone. You can feel the bone along this outside edge of my knife, or inside edge of my knife, that is. Cut all the way, lightly slice. You don't have to use a lot of force here. I'm gonna get right here. It's just about to come off. See, there. Slice it right off. Down at the bottom there. And there is one boneless breast. Now we'll come along this other side. Again, now I know where the breastbone is, so I'm just gonna slice right to the opposite side of that. It's easier for me to cut in this direction, so I'll just flip it around. And then just keep slicing right along the ribs in here. You can feel it there. And that meat will just fall right away. And you cut right down and through. Got the skin there. There is your other boneless breast. Sometimes there's a little wishbone piece right there that you'll carve out, but it's still in here on this one. All right. So there's my two boneless breasts. Now I'll separate the legs. Just like the first one, I've already popped the joint back. This goes into my stock pot. I'll put this in the freezer till I save up 4, 5 of them, and then I'll make a nice big batch of stock. So the other day I took this back piece and just threw it right on top of the rice that was cooking in my rice cooker, and all this fat melted down into the rice. Let me tell you, that was delicious. So, get this guy out of the way. All right, and again, we've got these huge lumps of fat. Just pull that right off. You don't really need that. A lot of fat there, I'll trim off. And again, we've got that line of fat right here. Cut on the leg side of it. At that same angle as the fat. Pops right off every time. Now, thighs. Debone the thighs. Flip them upside down. Skin side down. You can take this big flap of skin off of there if you want. You don't need to. And now you'll see both ends of the thigh bone and a line of fat that runs right along it. Just slice right along that bone. Open it up. Boom. You can now see the bone. Cut slightly under it. And just roll it with your knife blade. Just roll it right over. And then poke your knife through. Cut that joint. That one. You'll see a lump of cartilage right here. Go ahead and take that right off. Beautiful, boneless thigh. Let's get that other one. Do it one more time. Skin side down. You'll see both ends, both joint ends. The bone's right there. Cut right down to the bone. Open it up a little bit. You can now see the bone there. Roll it with your knife. Get it up like that. Push your knife under it and through. Slice one end, the other. See you later, thigh bone. Cartilage. Got it. And now you've got two beautiful boneless thighs. You could take the skin off of there, but I wouldn't. During college football season, I have people over all the time for the games, and I make up a big batch of different styles of wings. However, this year, the price of wings got so out of hand I could barely afford enough for myself. So, I switched it up to drumsticks. But drumsticks, just like this, are a little boring, so we'll make them a little more fun by lollipopping them. Now, to do this, the first thing we gotta do is get this thing to stand up on its own, because that's how we're gonna cook them, and that's how we're gonna serve them. So, you can see that it's cut at this angle, so it won't stand up, so we need to flatten that out. And to do that, you wanna cut right through the joint that's left there. Don't get deep into the bone. Cut through the cartilagey part here, and just kind of make as straight as cut as you can. It's not super hard. Your knife should go through, good sharp knife. Should go right through there. Try to stand it up. Much, much better. Might take you a couple times to get that thing to stand up, but that one seems to have worked out just fine. I'll go over this one again. Just want to flatten it out by cutting right through that cartilage. How's that look? Beautiful. But we are not done yet. Now, to lollipop them or French them, we're gonna separate the skin all the way around the ankle, I guess you call this. Just cut all the way through it. And then pull it down the bone a little bit. Shove it right down there. And pull the skin over the end. Looks like I got a little tendon hanging on there. Cut that. Shove the meat down. Watch out for that one sharp bone in there. That can poke you. And then wrap the skin around the end. Now we want to take this little nubbin of skin off of here. And you can kind of open it up and see there's a gap right there. Just go ahead and pop your knife into there. Slice. Take it off the other side, slice. It's not too hard to get it off there. A little bit there, left on there. Just slice right along the edge of there. It will come off pretty easily. Oh, you got it. Shove down there. We got some weird little tendons sticking out here, so get your shears. You can trim those up. Pretty this thing right up. It's a little bit of effort, and by no means is it necessary to cook up some good drums. But it is fun. So, there's our one lollipop drum. Let's do the other one real quick. I've already got it so it can stand up. So I want to cut it all the way around the base here. Pull it down a little bit. You got a nice clean bone is what you're after. Then, again, the skin, you got the gap right there. Slice it through. Slice up the side there if you want. It's a little tricky to do in the air like this, but there we go. Now push it all the way down again. Pull the skin around the top. Trim up those tendons if you want. Now we've got two fun little lollipop drums. That's a good technique because you can get big trays of drums for next to no money. It's far more economical than wings these days. So I've got one more chicken here today. Now let's go ahead and spatch this cock. And this is really easy to do. You don't necessarily even need a knife to do this technique. Just a good sharp pair of kitchen shears will get the job done. So let's start by flipping this thing over. And then we're gonna cut out the spine. So I think it's pretty easy to start on this end with the neck because that is the end of the spine. So let's just get in here along the side of the neck, crunch down with the shears, boom, right through the ribs, down, all the way down. This little hip spot can be a little tough, but good sharp shears will get right through that. And then, other side of the neck. Boom. Pull out the spine, throw that in your rice cooker. All right. Now, we're essentially done. We're just gonna open this up. And I do like to use the knife here. You could just pop this and smash it down, but I actually do like to use a knife just to lightly open up that breastbone. It's real soft, really easy. You can just give it a little tap and it's done. Boom, it pops. Now flip that thing over, spread it out, push it down, open that up all the way, and now you've got a spatchcocked chicken ready to go. These roast up real nice and even. I cook them whole on the grill like this a lot. It's kind of tricky to flip them, but when you pull it off and you get it off of there all whole like this, it's pretty cool presentation. So there are some basic techniques that are going to accommodate just about any recipe you can think of. Of course, when you're working with raw poultry of any kind, food safety is something you want to keep front of mind. So just be very aware of everything that your chicken touches and everything that you touch after touching your chicken, and clean all that stuff well. You don't have to get super crazy and use bleach on everything. Just good hot soapy water and a good scrub will take care of just about any bacteria that's going to hurt you there. It might interest you to know that I spent a good portion of my life working in the poultry industry, and that is a business where there are no easy jobs and the work can be very ugly. But even after many, many years in that field, I still love the stuff, and I eat it at least twice a week. Now, I don't want to go on too long with this video, but coming up soon, I'll show you how to debone a whole chicken without cutting it apart at all. So you end up with one big boneless meat sheet that you can stuff and roll, or you can fry or grill it all in one piece. It's really next level stuff. So stay tuned for that video, and thanks for watching. Check out that bite.